Oh, hello there. How you doing? Welcome back to Crafters TV. I hope you are ready to kick off the weekend in style. I'm still getting used to this as well. A launch day for you on a Friday evening. I know because, of course, Soft Side has its new home now, 3 p.m, 10 a.m. on a Friday. So we've moved that show back for you. And what a launch day we have got. Loads of brand new stamps, dies and embossing folders for you from the big name of Creative Expressions. Lots of gorgeous, shiny, pretty, glistening things as well that we're going to look at through the next 2 hours. Talking of pretty, shining, glistening things, Jan is here with me in the studio. How are you, Jan?
Joe, you're so kind. Pretty, shiny and glistening. I'm not sure
look
about
at you
all
in that shiny
Maybe
top.
The glistening bit, yeah. I'm not sure about the rest of it, but
you're
thank
always
you anyway.
shiny.
Yes, I love all these, I must admit. The Creative Expressions Cosmic Shimmer range honestly fit my style of crafting beautifully. So I always get very excited when I get asked to do these shows. So got a few samples to show you. We've got sort of quite a large collection today made up of metal dies, stamps and then colouring mediums, and some of those colouring mediums are new to us tonight. Some of them are sort of extensions of selections that you might already have. So just to show you one or two samples, I'm going to start with this one because I absolutely love this one. So the hearts here are actually part of one of the die sets, and then it's very cleverly been made into that little box just by adding a side
George
round
is having
it
a few
there.
issues with his joystick tonight, Jan. There we go. He's got his joystick working. There we go.
He's back, look. So yeah, we've just got some sort of some detail on the side there, just being embossed on there, but just a really nice, gorgeous little gift box there, very cleverly made. So that was just one of them. And then again, packaging wise, this is the die that we're going to use in the first demo, but absolutely beautiful. So it die cuts, and then you've got all these little elements in here that sort of raise out of the design. So those little flowers, all the petals raise out, and then this is part of the design as well. Again, we've got some embossed detail around the side.
Doesn't it, that?
Sorry?
It looks like it's been professionally manufactured in a big warehouse somewhere. Like it looks
absolutely.
shop bought quality.
This is the level that you can get with them, yeah. And then just a few card samples as well, which shows off a lot of that range there. So you can see here we've got that trio of hearts, which is one of the dies in there. You can see that layering hearts, which is the one that we used in that box. So those are the ones that made the box there. Again, love this one with some of those additional elements. We've got some of the sentiments in there as well.
Pretty. Using
those gorgeous shimmer powders, the Pixie sparkles there, which we're going to use in a later demo.
It's going to be perfect for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's that same set again that we're going to use in our first demo. And then again, this one, very different kind of technology. I'll talk to you about this when we get to that particular.
Is this the stampy cutty one we talked about?
This is the stamp and cut all in one.
Amazing.
Yeah. So you ink up your metal, and then it actually stamps out the detail and cuts the edge. Very, very clever. So yes, that's just a few of the ideas coming up later on in that show then.
Fabulous. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what we've got on the show for you. Brand new colours in things like luster polish and explosion powders as well. But I need to give you the details of this first. I'll show you a picture of absolutely everything you are getting. So it is the Buy the Cut Show collection. I'm going to run through the individual smaller items in just a second for you, but here is everything you might want. You've got stamps, embossing folders and dies, 84 elements, and check out the saving. A quarter off, 44.37 or 65.22. Lots of you have been shopping ahead in anticipation of this show, and a fifth of that stock has gone. I think it could go in the show. I'm going to run you through all the components that make up that Buy the Show collection. They do have discounts on them. The best way, however, to get the best value is to buy that larger collection. So we're first going to have a little look at these cute guys. Over here, we're going to look first at the spring gnomes. We're going to go through first. So in here, you are going to get really gorgeous collections. So you've got your arty gnome, your sunflower gnome, the ladybird gnome, the snail ride, the sunflower hat, the happy strips, and the rainbow gnome as well. They are adorable. They are perfect to colour, whether you're watercolouring or alcohol colouring. I think they're a fantastic price point as well. $36.40 or $53.14 if you want to get those on their own. If you want to go for the heart dies, this is that incredible ink, it's called stamp, what's the word? Stamp cuts is what it's called. Interesting. So this one we ink up and then stamp it and cut it out at the same time. Really gorgeous big heart over there with that lattice on. You can see these beautiful nesting dies here with the hearts too. And then we've got this one here as well, which is that slim line, which I'm going to show you the back of that. It cuts all in one panel, which is brilliant. Think about chopping that down too. If you want to go for that beautiful collection, it's Sue Wilson Heart Dies, 4-piece collection with 10 elements there for you. So do grab those. $43.96, 64.36 is your price on that one just there. Right, the next one we have got is the embossing folders. It's a 4-piece collection for you. There they are. Brilliant value again on these. A great saving for you too. 20% is your saving on those ones just there. Snap those up. They're going to be very busy. The great got really. Oh, my counter just moved. Oh, just moved my counter, Jan. You've got really lovely detailing on there. So you've got that wonderful sort of studded one there, as you can see. The elegant swirls. You've got your trellis in there, and you've got the daisy fields. And the, what was the last one, George? Quilted heart. Felted heart. Quilted heart. Quilted heart. I'm having a very death day today. No, deaf, not death, because I wouldn't be here. I'd be deceased if I was deaf. We've also got 2 other items for you that make up this By the Show collection. Your mini dies. You've got Happy Valentine's, Hugs and Kisses, and Follow Your Heart. A great price point again here. We were knocking it out of the park, not only with the new products, but also the price points for you. $7.66 or $11.50 if you are a Platinum member and you want to get your hands on that one just there. And then one more for you. We've got another die collection which makes up this By the Show. It's the Finishing Touches dies, as you can see here. 20% off here too. $14.96, $20.46 for Platinum members. But remember, the best way to get the best value, I'm hearing a quarter now of the stock has gone. In fact, we are all ready. People are getting it in the baskets and checking it out already. It's going to be a very busy show. £114, $167.58 gives you everything I have just shown you, which is awesome. Think of all of that new creativity that's going to be unleashed, Jan, if you went for that By the Show. It's pretty awesome, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's such a lot in there that, you know, you can mix and match, you can use together. We're going to try and show you as much of it as we can in the show. And obviously, I mean, any of you that follow Creative Expressions know that Sue Wilson is one of their designers. She's an amazing crafter as well. I can remember watching her for many an hour.
Maybe 12 years
so yeah, so now to actually be demonstrating her products as well is a real privilege.
I remember when she was with Spellbinders, I think it was back in the day.
Yes, many moons ago she was, yes, and sort of like developed that into designing her own ranges, and a lot of these come from her sort of designs today. So what we're going to do, I've got a demo lined up with that lovely layered heart. So you've got 2 pieces to this. If I actually flip this over, you can see we've got that background element, and then in fact 3 pieces altogether. You've got the 2 parts that make up the lattice work heart. But just before I get into that demo, I wanted to show you some of the new colouring mediums that we've got on the show as well. And I'm just going to swatch these out for you just to show you how easy they are to look to use. So we've got 4 brand new colours for you, and these are very similar. We've had previously the metallic gilding polish, and we've had the chalk polish on the shows. These are actually luster polishers, and they have got the most amazing sort of pearl luster inside them. Now, if you were watching this morning on Wake Up Call, I used the bubblegum one on Wake Up Call this morning, but I'm going to swatch them all out for you again, show you how these work if you've not come across them before, and just to show you the colours and what they actually look like. So we'll start off with that one that I've actually used already.
Great value these as well, Jan. $5.75, $9.99.
There we
go. These are going to go quite a long way.
They do. You don't need much at all, and I love the fact that the packaging's been designed so that you've got everything you need all in one place. The actual lid of the design, if you just put your thumbs against it and push, this has actually got the sponge applicator inside it, so you don't have to bring in a separate set of sponge applicators. So this is what we're going to use, and then just untwist, and you've got that pot full of gorgeous, luscious, it's almost like a mousse consistency.
It looks amazing on camera, Jan, but I mean, it's nothing compared to what it looks like with the naked eye in the studio.
Honestly, when you actually see this and use it, and it's so simple and so easy to use, there's no sort of messiness about it at all because you've got everything you need. So literally all I'm going to do is actually pop my applicator in there, gather a little bit of the product, and then just take any excess, using the side of that jar there to just pull off the excess so that you've not got too much product going going on. And then this is just onto smooth stamping card. Literally run this across the card, and it's about building up those layers. So taking out a small amount at a time. If you just dip it in and get a full thing, you're just going to get a circle of that product on your cardstock there. So again, layer it up, and it's going to give you the most amazing sort of pearlescent luster. So just building up those layers. And I think the bubblegum name for this one is perfect. It's really
like those fancy, bottom of those fancy shoes, isn't it? That's what it reminds me of. It's that
it
real hit of hot red and pink.
So now then, let me just have a look, because we've just had a little change around in here, and it's putting your hands on everything at the minute. So I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping, and it's worth doing each time you use these. Just make sure you've not got product around the edge of that jar, and then it will make life much simpler for opening it all up next time.
Could it dry out and act like almost like an adhesive then if you did it on there?
If you left the cap unscrewed, it might start to dry out, but obviously this is airtight. But if you've got product around the edge of here, it's going to start sealing against your lid. So it's just a bit of housekeeping, and then this one pops back in the top and just press to click it in, and it's all done. So that one is the bubblegum flavour, and this is pretty much dry already now. But just to show you, look at that shimmer on there. Absolutely gorgeous.
People ordering one of each of these, I'm hearing. Multi-ordering all the new colours. I don't blame you either.
Now, I haven't had chance to use the rest of the colours yet, so this is just look. Look at that. Oh, the most gorgeous teal shade in this one. So this one is...
Tantalising teal. That's exactly what it is, isn't it?
Sure is, absolutely. So again, I'm literally just popping it onto that sponge and then just running that sponge across. Just look at that. Absolutely stunning. So if you've got a plain piece of cardstock, you can change it literally instantly into a piece of beautifully sort of pearlized luster cardstock. And again, just making sure that we've not got too much going on around that edge.
It lays down so quickly and easily as well.
And it dries so quickly as well, absolutely. And then just click them back into place. So that one's the tantalising teal. And again, if we just lift this up, just look at that shimmer on there. Yeah? Beautiful. And then I'm going to show you the other two as well while we're still here. So this one's the razzmatazz. Again,
sounds like this will be right up my street, this one.
Razzmatazz, just for you, Joe. Look
right
at
up my
this.
strata, Jan.
Just look, absolutely gorgeous. So again, little tiny bit on here, and then I'm sort of just using the edge of the jar to take some of that product off again, because you don't need...
earthy, isn't it, this one?
Yeah, look, you've got sort of like a cross between a coppery tone and like a terracotta red sort of.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit maroony, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely, really nice colour. Because like from razzmatazz, it could have been anything really, couldn't it?
Could have been.
It could have,
Could have been Showgirls and Sequins, judging by the name.
So again, I'm just going to pop that one back together, and then we'll do that last one, and then we'll get into that demo with the die for you. But I just wanted to show you the colours that were actually in here, because see them in the pots, they are very good representation, but I just wanted you to see that shimmer, that lustre in them. So again,
could we die cut this then afterwards? When it's dried, would it be all right to do something like that with it?
One of the samples you've got over there that I did this morning, Joe,
yes.
That's exactly what I did. I used that bubble gum, and that middle heart there has been die cut once we were dry.
Feels like pearlescent card, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. So you can sort of change all your sort of bits of card. And honestly, it's like, I was talking about this the other day, when you buy a pack of card, there's often a colour in it that you don't like. Look at that. This is proper like royal purple,
like
isn't it?
French navy, isn't it? Beautiful.
Absolutely. It's like that famous chocolate brand purple, isn't it there? But literally, that's all I'm doing. It's as simple as that. I am just rubbing that applicator over the top and just layering it up. And I've done that very, very quickly. So you'll have much more time at home to get playing with that. And that's just showing you those four colours. What was I saying about
that piece of card inside? Do you keep that in there, Jan, when you've used it? Or
it's
can you remove
usually
that?
stuck inside the lid. That one had actually come apart, I think, while it's been in transit. So yeah, normally they're actually stuck inside the lid, yeah. But you can just see there now.
Oh, wow.
Those beautiful shimmery colours. And that's not because they're wet. These are dry now. So it's not the wet that you're seeing.
The coverage is that good. It looks like you've painted and then mica misted or something over the top of it.
That's what I was saying, actually. I'd lost my thought track then when I went. But what I was saying was, like, if you've got coloured card in your stash that is a colour that you don't particularly like, turn it over and use the plain side. Get one of these colours on and you've changed it into a piece of card that you can then use. So that was literally just to swatch those out and show you what they look like. And then we're going to get into that demo. So I'm just going to make sure my my glass mat is clean.
Lots of people saying hello, Jan, and tuning in. We should do some hellos. Sarah Brown says, morning, it's Saturday morning around 6 a.m. Hoping you're all well. I'm well, Jan, are you well?
I am really good.
Well? Excellent.
I am really good, yes.
Hannah Hicks is saying, hi, everyone, looking forward to the launch. Kelly's in Houston, Renetta's in Ayrshire, Fred's in California says we are their favourite humans, which I think is a very nice compliment.
That's lovely.
What
Donna, a nice thing to say.
Very lovely compliment. Yeah. Donna's in Arizona, Panda's in Doncaster.
Oh, that's not far away from me.
No.
Not far from me.
Not far at all. Mariah's in as well. Can't wait to see Jan work her magic with these products. Any questions that come up, because there's a lot of new products in the show. It might be things that you've not seen before. So any questions you've got, fire them over to me. Crafters TV on Facebook or Crafters Companion if you are across on YouTube. How do you pick where to start with all of these fabulous new goodies on the show?
I know. I wanted to try and get in as much as I could. So I've tried to use pretty much everything. There's just an odd element that I've not used in the demos for you. So we're going to start off with that lovely layered heart background, and you get sort of the background piece here, which doesn't have a cutting edge. So this is actually going to cut against your cardstock. You're not going to get the square cut out or the heart cut out. It's just going to pop that detail in there. And then you get the two extra pieces. Now this one again will just cut into your card, so no external cutting edge. If you want it to be an absolutely sort of cut out heart, then you pop the external one with it and you're going to get the two pieces. So I'll show you what I mean by that as we go through the demo. And do you know the thing that I liked when I actually got these to play with? Inside each of your cardstocks here, you've got inspiration as to what to do with the dies. So this is a similar kind of thing to what we're going to create just now, but just using that one piece here, you can see we've just got that internal piece there. We've just used this one to make a background here, and maybe using some of the Pixie powders to do the background. Again, you can see sort of those images built up, lots of different ways, but I love the fact that in each one there is a separate set of sort of inspiration in there. So what I've done is I've just taken some of our Centura Pearl, just the plain, I think this one was the hint of silver.
Awesome.
All right, and it's slightly bigger. The dies measure 5 inches square. My piece of cardstock was 5.5. And what we're going to do is we're going to line this one up. Just need to get used to our new format because everything's over to one side. You've got all your bits
at hand's reach now, haven't
yeah,
they?
all my bits are to one side rather than underneath the desk. So I just need to, and I've picked one that's got the tape sealed. Look, oh my days.
Oh, Jan, sent to try you, isn't it? It's
Here
Friday. It's because it's Friday night.
I think that John's just been sticking them all together.
Yes.
There we go. So again, I want to stick this in place because I want it to stay within that square. So again, we're just going to pop some tape, okay, and then pop this in my Gemini plates, which I've got down here.
Same regular sandwich as every other die, Jan?
Absolutely, it is a thin metal die, so just treat it exactly the same as you would if you were using one of our own thin metal dies. So if it's a Gemini, it's your normal cutting sandwich. If you're using any of the other machines out there, whatever you would normally use to cut a thin metal die with. And this is going to cut all that detail into the card and then leave that solid heart in the centre of the card there. So this is going to be my background element for the card, and then we're going to work with that heart to make the foreground pieces. So again, let's just pop those underneath and show you what we've actually got in here. So take the tape back off now. That's done its job there. So just nicely roll this back to avoid any snagging of your cardstock there.
Very busy on that by the collection, also getting very busy on these individual collections as well. Lots of you are stocking up on multiples of them. Really nice way this show's formatted, Jan, I think, that you can go for the individuals, buy a few of them, or go for that bigger collection and get the best value.
Yeah,
it's really
there's a great saving, isn't there, on that whole. And I know a lot of people, you know, that follow Creative Expressions do buy a lot of the products. So this is a great way to get them with that discount on.
Absolutely.
So I've just used the die brush, and you can see that's got most of the pieces out of there. So it releases really really nicely. And they always use this sort of bronzy colour as well in their metalwork at Creative Expressions. So again, it's quite easily recognisable. So again, just going to go over there and make sure we've got as many of those little pieces out as we can. So the die brush there is just sort of popping out as many as we can get, and then if there's any little stubborn ones, we can just go to the pokey tool to finish it off there. So that's going to do most of them there. We'll get all that, it's like confetti there, look, get all that to one side, and then just double check and see if there's any little bits that are still hiding in there. It's not looking too bad there.
That's quite cute, isn't it?
There's always one hiding where you think you've got them all, and then there's one sat there laughing at you saying, I'm still here.
Just waiting to be discovered.
I'm still here. Usually as you're trying to stick it down and realise that there's one left. I don't think that looks too bad there. And then what I wanted to show you was from the back, I'm actually going to go back through to these little petals, and these have die cut but they're still anchored in the centre. So if you just push the petals through from the back, you're going to get that lovely sort of raised element. Can you see how these are just sort of popping out there?
Yeah, I can see that. Beautiful,
Yeah.
like little daisies, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really, really pretty. So what I did at home, I just spent a little bit of time doing exactly that, but I've just popped some red pearls into the centre of all those little daisies and just spent a little bit of time working these petals sort of out of that design. They have got flattened a wee bit while they've been in transit, but you can always pop these back up once you've got your project made. So that's as far as we've got with that one. And then the second piece, like I said, you've got options with this. So if I just use the trellis part here, it would literally cut that trellis detail into this solid area, all right, because there's no external cutting edge. If I use them together, because this one has a cutting edge, we're going to create this kind of look. All right, and what I've done is I've cut the whole section in the red, and this is our Centura Pearl Cherry, all right, which I think is on the show. And then on the back, I've just used the plain one on its own to cut out an outline, and I've used some of our silver glitter card, which I believe is also on the card.
It does look again, like a pie, lattice pie
it
top,
does look
it?
like that lattice work that you build into the pastry, doesn't it? Yeah. And then I've popped some foam pads on here, ready to build this onto our design there. So that's going to be my topper. And then also these are absolutely gorgeous. So if you buy nothing else tonight, treat yourself to a set of the little sentiments, because the fonts on here are beautiful. They really are.
Everything seems to play quite nicely and cohesively across these different collections as well. So it makes real sense to get by the show.
It does. It's been well thought out, and obviously with Valentine's Day coming up here, you know, it's sort of it's a nice one to have in your stash if you're selling your cards. You know, if you do them to order, anything like that. So we've got Happy Valentine's Day, which I've just cut out of some silver Miri card, and then I've just done the little drop shadow in the black so that we can see it a wee bit better. But the font, you've got certain parts of it written in capital letters, and then this beautiful script that runs through the centre and joins it all together. So it's all one piece. It's all actually joined at the edges there. Beautiful. But absolutely gorgeous. So what we're going to do then is we're going to start and pop all this together. So I've taken a background card, which is just an ordinary opening card, which is 7 inches square, and I have matted on some of that lovely silver glitter card out of our luxury card packs, and I think we've got the silver one. No, we've got the blue one and the purple one, I believe, on the show. This is just the silver from there. And then we're going to take that layer that we've done here and pop this one on.
Yeah, we've got the purple and the ice blue on the show, Jan. You're right. Buy one, get one free as well when you get the two together.
And then I've just used some of my larger nesting dies that I've got in my stash that just happen to be Creative Expressions, actually. They are some of Sue Wilson's larger dies. And created a frame here that we're just going to sit over the top and frame that lovely sort of detail in the background. So let's get that bit stuck down. So we're going to go with a little bit of wet glue on the back of here, which will soak into that glitter card nicely. So I'm just going to go around the edge here with the wet glue, and if I'm using glitter card like that, I nearly always go with the tacky glue, because as I say, it will soak into that glitter card surface and give you a nice sort of adhesion there with that glue. So this one's going to go on first, and just centre that in there. So that one's slightly smaller than the rest of it because we're going to pop that frame over the top. So that's why I've left that extra piece around the edge. If you remember, I said the die itself was 5 inch across. I cut my cardstock at 5.5 so that when I put the frame around it, we're not covering too much of that design up. So that's stuck down there, and then I've got some tape on the back of here, which sometimes plays and sometimes doesn't. So we'll just bear with me, and I'm hoping, seeing as one piece has come off, that it's all going to play nicely. There we go, that's 2, we're halfway there. It's the bane of my life, anything like this. For some reason, I get days where it doesn't like me, and then I get other days, look, that one's decided to play.
That's not playing ball. Fred says, time for a pun. You can't beat the prices on these hearts.
Oh,
hey.
Look at that.
Tracy liked that one especially.
So just that last one there we can get off, and then we're going to pop this around that detail.
Just a second, Jan, what the cardstock that you put the luster polish onto, what cardstock was that?
The one I used was just our regular stamping card.
Perfect. A few questions about that in the comments.
Yeah, what I haven't had chance to try is what it looks like on black card. I did get some black card out, and if we have time later in the show, I'll have a quick look at the colours on black card as well for you. So that one's just going to go and leave a nice border around the edge there. So this was our cherry Centura pearl that I've cut that frame out of, and then we're going to bring in the topper in effect that we've created with that extra die there, and everything's been done, you know, it all lines up beautifully in there, and then we're going to go straight across the centre here with that lovely Happy Valentine's Day. So hope hubby's not watching because that's his card done at the
Is
ready.
it?
I'm only kidding. Oh, it's a while since we've done Valentine's Day.
Don't say that because it'll be voted demo of the show now.
No, honestly.
You don't do Valentine's?
It's a while since. One of the first things my hubby told me when I met him was that I'm not very romantic.
Ah.
So I had to make a decision at that point as to whether I was going to take him on or not.
Like a project?
Yeah, and I did take him on. And honestly, Joe, I think it's 38 years this year.
Wow.
Yes, so
you get a lot less for murder, you know.
I know, that's what a lot of people say.
A lot less.
So that one's just going to go straight in the middle.
You're almost on like a double life sentence there. Yeah. I mean, joking, obviously.
No, he's a good one. I wouldn't swap him for the world. There we go. I was just talking about it earlier, actually. I said I do consider myself very lucky these days to still be with him after all those years. Right, so that's just keeping that nice and simple, using a couple of those products, and use that gorgeous background there with those little daisies there that are just popped out. All I've added from my stash there are some gems and then that cardstock to cut it out of. Absolutely gorgeous, and you could be recreating that at home yourself. I'm just going to say hello to a few people. Julie Barlow says hello, crafty friends. Linny's back as well, the lovely Linny in Scotland. Cheryl says the sample makes are gorgeous. Can't wait to see what Jan has got to show us. Jill's in from North Yorkshire. Eve B says how much they love that box. Really some cute samples being done. Panda Craft says nice jumper. Thanks, Panda Crafts. Tesco's from the ladies section, treat yourself. Tesco's is kind of like, for anyone in the US, it's kind of like Walmart, isn't it? It's kind of it's a big supermarket, but they do have some fabulous jumpers from time to time. Lynn says, hi Joyce, Joe, Jan, the CTV team, the social media superstar, and absolutely everyone else. Hello, lovely Lynn. Rose, ready to laugh. She's ready to learn with Jan and laugh with Joe. That's why we're the perfect balanced team, you see. Learning and laughing, the two things we love most here at Crafters TV. Hannah Hicks has bought the entire show this morning. 4 Holidays is in from Florida. Melanie's in. Fred. Some questions coming in just about those luster polishes, Jan. Sarah C says, what ink pad would you use with a luster polish if you were going to stamp and then use the luster polish over the top? I think I would possibly do it the other way around. I think I'd get my luster polish down like I have here, and then stamp over the top. So you want a permanent ink over the top of there. So you're looking, if you're using our own range, you would be looking at one of the Finesse ink pads. So our waterproof dye there is a permanent ink. Okay. Alternatively, one of my go-to for a black ink is my VersaFine if you don't have our Spectrum Noir ones, or alternatively a StazOn as well will do the trick. If you're wanting to colour with these, you can actually turn that medium just by taking a little bit out of your jar, pop it on your mat or a craft mat or a piece of acetate, anything that's non-porous, and then just spritz it with a little tiny bit of water, because all these products are water-based. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. So just by mixing it with a tiny bit of water and using a paintbrush, you can then paint with this as well.
Brilliant.
So it's not just about covering an entire surface. It may be that you actually want to start and just pick some elements out as a paint as well.
Excellent. I hope that answers your question. Mary Rhino's not happy, Jan.
She's not happy? Why?
She's
What's the
fuming, in
matter,
fact. She says,
Mary?
no one's bothered me for the last 2 hours. 5 minutes from the start of the show. The man of the house has been in 3 times. One of the dogs wants to go out and the cat is singing the blues.
It's typical, isn't it? Yeah, typical.
Absolutely typical. Any questions or comments you've got, keep getting them in to me. Lots of love for that last project there as well. Mary loved it, as did Joy, Eve, Dana, Lynn, all saying how gorgeous that was. Joy says as well. Joy says, our hearts beat for you, Joe.
Oh,
thanks,
of course
Joy.
they do.
She always says the right things. Let me just recap then the elements that make up this large by the show collection. We'll start off with the gnomes. I am a gnome and I live in a home. A quarter of the gnomes have gone. You're going to need to be quick for these. We're having a very, very busy start to this show. 36.40 or 53.14. You've got 6 different gnome designs in there, and then your added sentiments. Each one of those actual gnome stamp sets, I should say, does come with embellishments and sentiments of its own too. So loads in there for you to get cracking with. The heart collection, how much? A third gone already on that. A brilliant collection of hearts. Perfect Valentine's Day. And then we got that stamp and cut die in there as well, which is awesome. We do have those beautiful embossing folders available for you on the show as well. Let's have a little look-see at those. George is just moving his joystick. There we go. 20%, a fifth has gone there on those. Brilliant. Less than £5 an embossing folder. Shut the front door, shut the back door. Honestly, that's amazing. We then also have those beautiful mini dies as well. We say mini, but do you know what? For a sentiment, I think they're quite a substantial size, Jan.
They are a nice size for a project. They're not sort of going to overtake your project, but you can see that one I've just used did make a really nice sort of addition to that
Beautiful.
you know, looking at that there, it's practically the width of the heart there. So yeah, I think mini as in that the font's a nice sort of size, but the actual overall size is very, very usable. Yeah.
You're loving those at the moment. 40% of those are gone. When I'm giving you these updates as well, that's people that I've checked out. That is names on boxes in the warehouse. We also have another die collection for you as well. It's the Finishing Touches by Sue Wilson. You're loving these ones as well. 40% of these have gone. We'll have a look at those in a little bit more detail a little later in the show. Do you want it all? Do you want a quarter off of all of it? You do, don't you? You really do. I need to let you know though, a third of the stock has now sold out and gone. Very, very busy in this show. I want to just quickly remind you of those new colours on the luster polish. They are just so gorgeous. Look at that.
Aren't they beautiful?
The violet vibe. I wonder if George can get his joystick
just
and zoom in.
looking at the pots themselves, yeah.
I mean, that is just stunning, isn't it? Absolutely, what a stunning colour. So that's your violet vibe just there. You've also got, this one is your razzmatazz and all that jazz. Love it.
Gorgeous, isn't
I
it?
mean, that looks like the most gorgeous lip polish, doesn't it?
Ooh.
Like an amazing lipstick. It really does. Don't put it on your lips, not what it's designed for. You might stick your mouth together. Maybe that's a benefit for
the
some.
bubble gum one, I love that one. Yeah.
Oh yes, I love that they look as stunning in the pots as they do on the page as well. I think this one though might be my favourite. You know, this one is the
gorgeous,
teal,
isn't it?
It really is tantalising. They look like they could be beautiful eyeshadow colours or something, don't they? I mean, they're just stunning. And what you've got is that beautiful luster, that shine, that sparkle within there too. Brilliant price on those. A lot of you got all 4 of those in your basket. In fact, you know what? I know you're not going to want to miss any of Jan's demonstrations, but I do want you to check out your basket. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that. Whilst you do that, let's have a look at some of the fun stuff we get up to here at Crafters TV.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet.
The neighbours.
I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing. Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. Make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Quick Buy. All your crafting must-haves in a flash.
Make light work of intricate and delicate die-cutting designs with the Pokey tool from Crafters Companion. An absolute essential part of any paper crafter's kit, its precise tip has been designed to release the tiniest pieces to reveal your finished results with absolute precision. And to make sure your finished project is perfect, each Pokey tool has a rubber tip protector, so there's no risk of damaging your die-cutting design or yourself. The Crafter's Companion Pokey tool is such an essential craft item, we've included 2 in each set.
Quick Buy. Get yours now.
So much love for Jan's fabulous demonstrations. Mary loving that card. Joy and Eve as well. Dana says, how beautiful is that? Hi Joe, and Queen Jan says, Marilyn, can't miss any of Jan's shows. She's my ultimate inspiration. Yana Haninen says, lovely card Jan. I ordered the beautiful heart tie. Yana Haninen. I'm going to guess that's Finnish, that name, Yana. Is it? Let me know. See if I guessed correctly. We'll see if she'll let me know. Christine says, I love those gnomes. Everyone's obsessed with the gnomes, by the way.
They always go well, the gnomes.
Rose says, I'm here in CCTV, hanging with my gnomies. Gnomies, love that.
I love it. Yeah, hanging with my gnomies, I like that.
Lots of you saying lots of lovely things. Marilyn loving everything in the show as well. Any questions or comments you've got, get them into me. Where would you like to go next, Jan?
We're going to have a look at those said gnomes, we are.
Oh,
so,
nice.
So we did one this morning. The card that you've got over there, Joe, was the one that we did in the wake-up call this morning, if people weren't watching. And we used our aqua markers, our tri-blend aqua markers, tricolour, should I say. Let's turn them around and then they read the right way there, don't they? So, yeah, we've got these on the show for you, and we actually used them with glycerin this morning to sort of make them more accessible as like an ink. So
I love it when they're done with glycerin.
The background on that card has been done with 3 of the colours out of here, and then glycerin? We used it to actually colour with as well using our sparkle pen. So you can see the areas that are sparkly. I've just used the same colours as the background, but just applied it with our sparkle pen so that we've got a little bit more colour in there. So that was the one we did this morning. So now I'm actually going to go, and it's not something that we see done very often. I'm just going to go and use the watercolour markers direct to the card. You tend to see us more often than not popping the colour on the mat and picking it up, which we're going to do again later. But for this particular one, I wanted the vibrancy of the actual colours themselves. So this is a really nice tall skinny. This one's sunflower hat and a lovely tall skinny one. So we're going to make a nice tall skinny card, which don't see as many of these days. We get sort of busy with the square cards? So yeah, you've got the actual stamp itself, photopolymer stamps, and then you've got 3 separate sentiments in there. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of our watercolour card, because we're going to be using that watercolour medium, and then first of all we're going to stamp out the gnome and just get him in position on our card here. So towards the top there, and I want to leave room at the bottom to pop one of those little sentiments. Just going to line him up so he's pretty central on there. Pick him up with that top there.
What's the other things these people, what's similar to gonks? That's the one I was thinking of.
Yes,
these
very
are a bit
similar.
gonky, aren't they?
They
A
are.
gonky gnome.
A gonky one.
Sounds like a dance move, the gonky gnome, doesn't it? What are you doing? Oh, I'm just doing the gonky
closely
gnome.
related to the funky chicken. So, choices then for your inks. You've got our Finesse waterproof ink, because obviously we want that line art to stay put. So the waterproof ink is a permanent ink. So when we add those watercolour mediums, we're not going to move any of the line art. I'm actually going to bring in my Onyx black one, which is just, I know this sounds weird when you say it's a darker black, because black is black at the end of the day, but there are shades of it, just like any other colour.
With cardstock, it's exactly the same. You get a true black, don't
Yes,
you?
yeah. And I want that really dark black outline. Now you've got lots of choices here, because obviously if you want to actually do this with a sticky ink and emboss, that creates you that lovely little sort of walled well for you to pop your colour into then. So that's another option with the stamps. They've got a nice, these are designed by Francois Reed, and they've always got, you can recognise her stamps because they've always got that nice thick line art, and I think that's a really nice one for heat embossing. And I know if you watch Francois demonstrating, she often does a lot of heat embossing over her stamped images. So again, I'm going to go with a couple of layers just to build up that ink on them. Because I'm using the watercolour card, it's a little bit more absorbent than the smooth cardstock. So all I'm going to do is ink up a second time, excuse me, and then pop that. That's why I've used my magnetic platform, so that I can just go straight over the top there and just build up that black ink. So we've got that nice black outline. Now if you don't want it as dark, you can use your grey ink pads or even the brown ones if you don't want, but I quite like, for this style of artwork, I quite like that black outline on there. And then we'll take it away and literally bring in some colours, and I want some really nice vibrant colours out of here now. So we're going to take, which one was my yellow one in? Let me just push them to one side so I can see there. I want the, which one was it? Tulip, I think I used there in the middle. I want that one. I want the gold one. And we want the brown. So I just popped them all back in earlier, and they're all muddled up there. That one, I think it is, just for now.
So much love for these gnomes, Jan. Mary says, woohoo, gnomes. Tim says, love the gnomes. Diana's loving the dance moves, as is Tim as well. And Eva saved this live for the tips too. Crafty Becky's got her orders in as well for all those beautiful new colours. Loads of love still for those pastes as well. A lot of love for the fact they come with their own applicators.
Yes, it's all really nice and neat. Yeah. So literally now, you often see us taking the ink to the craft mats, picking it up with a pen or with that crystal glitter pen. But this time, I am literally just going to go straight onto that watercolour card, and you can use that lovely Japanese nib just to colour with, and you'll get a lot more vibrancy from your pen. And by using that right cardstock, we're going to get a nice finish on it, and it doesn't use a lot of ink. You can see there that, you know, it's bringing in that sort of nice colourway, and you can still do a little bit of blending to a certain extent. So what I'm going to do is bring in that next one, which is the, no, that's not the one I want. It's not rose pink. I want the, where's my amber gone? There it is. I want the amber one, which is like a slight orangey tone. So again, I'm just going to pop that around the bottom there, just to give that little bit of depth. And then, like we do with the alcohol markers, back to the gold one and just pop over the edge there. And because these are watercolour, you'll find that that blends. So I've not used any water, I'm just using the ink straight from the pen. And then we've got brown shades in there, so the middle of the sunflower is going to be the brown. Now I have got one of these finished, so I'm just going to show you some elements of the colouring on here and then show you that finished one, because I want to add another product that I believe we've got on the show.
Not you, Jana. Jana was from Finland.
From Finland.
That's what, every time we say finish now in the show, we're going to make that gag like Dermot O'Leary did on X Factor all those years ago. Do you remember?
So there we've got, oh, do you know what I heard this morning on the radio, Joe? I can't remember whether you were a fan or not. They're bringing back Big Brother.
Oh, yes. I love Big Brother.
Now, apparently...
Specifically, the celebrity one is my all-time favourite.
It is a celebrity. Apparently, it's the Australian version. And I think they're using it as a bit of a test run to see what the reception is.
So they're going to broadcast the Australian one here?
Here on, I think it was E4.
Oh.
And it's going to be a celebrity version. Well, I got very excited.
Australian celebrity?
Well, yeah. Well, no, I think there'll be our celebrities.
Oh, in Australia?
Mind you? I don't know.
Hold the line. Hold the line. I'm Googling.
He's on it,
I'm
look.
Googling.
He's on it. I knew he'd be on it. And I got very excited. I must admit, I had to sort of control myself because I was a big Brother fan. I watched it right from the very beginning. Right, so we've got a little bit done there. I'm going to go with that lovely bright yellow here for the hat. As I say, I wanted some really nice bright colours. I think that's actually paler than the one I've used on the finished sample, but you get the idea there. There's lots of different shades for you to work with. You've got 12 pens, but obviously there are 3 colours in each pen. So you've got a total of 36 different shades in there. And we've grouped them so that within the pen, those 3 colours work nicely together. So for example, in this one, you've got a rose pink, the jasmine, and then the tulip. So they will actually work nicely as a colour family to work together. So again, just by using them straight onto that card, it's pretty much similar to the alcohol colouring. But obviously you've got that water medium, that water-based medium there instead.
There is a girl from Manchester who was on Married at First Sight, which I've never whom I'm not familiar, and Caitlyn Jenner's going to be in it. And
oh yes, I did hear that. I did hear that.
Other Australian celebrities.
Right, there we go.
Only 11 episodes though, not very long, Jan.
Oh, as I say, I think it's a little bit of a sort of a guinea pig to see whether it's well received.
I missed it. Not so much the regular one, but the celebrity one.
Oh, it was funny, wasn't it?
Leslie Jordan in it was just one of my.
Well, they were laughing about the one with David Guest in it. That had to be one of the funniest moments ever.
The David's dead moment.
David's dead, and it was sadly it was when we lost Dave Bowie, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
And they all thought it was David Guest that was dead, and they all went running into the bedroom to see whether he was okay.
And he was there, alive and well. Bless him.
He was having a nap. They frightened the living daylights out of him. Still, do you know, it doesn't take much to keep me happy.
There's some absolutely iconic scenes from Celebrity Big Brothers over the year.
So we've just got a little bit more going on here, and then I'll show you the one that I've done as a finished sample. So again, you know, just adding that colour wherever you want it. And then obviously, because we've got white going on, sort of with the beard here and the top of the hat, sorry, Joe.
That's fine. These colourways have got a bit of a Central American vibe about them, with the greys and the oranges and the yellows.
Bit sort of carnival-y sort of nose.
Yeah, maybe, or you know, Curacao, something like that.
Now, I was actually sort of, even though I wanted the bright colours, for his nose and his hand, I didn't want to go quite so bright. And this is one of the reasons that I've used my oil-based ink pad, because out came the good old tri-blends, and as long as you're very careful not to sort of go over the line art, you can get away with adding a little bit of your alcohol marker in there. If you get too close to the line art, it may drag a bit of the colour in, but just because the alcohol tends to move slightly, if you just go up to the edge, you'll find that that colour sort of spreads to the outside of the design anyway, and you can get away with just doing that little bit.
Love that, very subtle.
And then for the beard, because it's white, I tend to just get one of my grey markers and literally just round the outside edge there, not touching that black line, so I'm not pulling the ink out. But what it does, it just gives a little bit of definition as to sort of that it's not too flat anymore. So again, just round here, underneath the nose, and then I'm also going to do the same along the top of the hat there. And it just sort of brings it off the paper a little bit.
Funny that adding the grey makes the white more white.
It does, doesn't it? It's weird. I use it for animals and things like that. You know, if you're sort of colouring in a snowman, an animal, he's not really an animal, is he?
I reckon.
A polar bear maybe would be an animal, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when you bring in that finished design, you can see there we've got that lovely vibrancy going on. And what I wanted to do when I've actually got this mounted onto the card is use a little bit of our glossy highlights on his nose. And I just thought that would finish it off nicely. So I've matted that onto a piece of our glitter card, and that's the ivory glitter card there. And then we're just literally going to pop this onto a tall skinny card. I've popped a layer of sort of buttermilky yellow cardstock there, just to bring in the yellows there, and literally pop that onto there. All right, so again we'll use our
here, Jan. The teas have arrived,
I know. Our Tracy, bless her, is an absolute lifesaver. She really is. I don't think I've ever done a show where she's not brought us a drink in the middle.
No, always.
Always.
She's a superstar. A lot of people are having a few issues with their gnomes at home because
with their
Peg
gnomes?
says, I don't know if I can buy any more gnomes because the ones from the Christmas collection keep hiding my pokey tools. They get a bit bored.
They're a bit cheeky, aren't they? Yes.
Yeah,
they are a bit cheeky.
They are very cheeky. She says, I know, I hide all my gnome and gonks in the drawer. I have a gonk MDF to work on too. You do have to, maybe they need some gnomies to play with from this collection so they'll get less bored. I do love that.
That is brilliant. Funny. So again, I've just used the tape pen to add those two layers together. And then on there, we've got 3 different sentiments. So you've got You're So Special, you've got a thanks, and then I used the Sending You Sunshine. I just thought with those nice bright colours on there, that was a really nice sentiment to go for a, you know, sort of an everyday card where you maybe want to send it to someone, but it's not actually a birthday or a special occasion. So we're just going to pop that on the bottom like so. And then now I've got all that flat, I'm going to use my glossy highlights there and hope that we're working all right. Just see if that's, yep, we're coming through there. And then I'm just going to leave this to dry.
These are in stock as well, Jan, at the moment, the glossy highlights. You can grab those over on the website.
Yep, and it comes out sort of slightly milky. And it probably takes about half an hour to sort of go off. But I would actually leave this overnight if I was going to put it in the post to someone. So I'm going to leave that now. I know, it's brilliant. I wouldn't be without this. Just those little finishing touches on things. And again, if I just get that to catch, can we catch the light with it? It's not quite, I don't want to move it.
A little bit
if I don't move it too much.
Shiny nose.
There he is, look. Yeah, I don't want to move it too much because I don't want it to run. Yes. So I'm going to leave that flat now. You can just see, I'll sort of just half tilt it for you. But leave it flat and then I'll show you once it's gone dry, it goes clear and you'll see whatever colour you've put underneath it. So we'll leave that one and I'll show it you towards the end of the show. So that's just one of that set of gnomes that we've got on there. Yeah.
You're going to love this comment. Jan's demos could sell lipstick to a pig. They're that good. I love that.
I've heard that one before. That's brilliant.
That is amazing. She's a marvel. She goes on to say, that's funny. Sell lipstick to a pig.
I like that
one. Would we call that a mini slimline, that card, Marilyn asks?
A mini slimline. It is practically DL size, but I think it's a bit taller. It is half of the A4 here in the UK. So our A4 is 8 1/4. I've literally just scored it down the middle at 4 1/8. But we're actually looking at 8 3/4 inches. So it's a wee bit longer than a DL. Basically to accommodate the sentiment. Without the sentiment, I'm sure you'd be able to fit it on a DL size card.
Really testament to the quality of the stamp, so it needs nothing else. The stamp, a little colouring, a sentiment on there, and that's the whole project done.
Brilliant.
And good to go. Lena questions if gnomes are all year round. Gnomes are not just for Christmas, Lena.
They are not by any means.
All the year through. Summer gnomes, winter gnomes, spring gnomes, all the gnomes is what we've got. Gilmore says, I started out not wanting anything from this show. Since I've seen the demos, I'm getting everything.
Oh,
well,
bless you.
Talking about getting everything, I need to just show you a picture again of that by the collection, because by the show, half the stock has gone. Yes, hold on to your craft counters, and there are lots and lots and lots of you with that in your basket at the moment. You've got options. The best way to get the best value is to get this collection, because you are saving £44 or $65.22. That's amazing when we bring you third-party brands, but can still give you amazing discounts. Also remember, if you are across in the US, you will qualify for free shipping and handling on this particular bundle when you get it all together as one, which is excellent. But we are going to, I want to share with you these. We've got some new Pixie powders for you. Oh, we love these, Jan, don't we? I'm just going to run through these new colours. We've got Flirty Sky, love that. This one here, it's kind of hard for you to see, but it's this label down here that we're having a look at. It's the Purple Rainstorm. You can see just there, which is awesome. These are all new colours for you, by the way. Then you've got the Copper Splash. Loving that, really loving that. And then you've also got the Boulevard Lights. The road that my mum and dad live on is called the Boulevard. Very, very fancy. It's really not a fancy street at all, but it's got a fancy name, I know. The Boulevard. There you are, £4 each or $5.99. Again, like the new luster polishes, a lot of you are multi-ordering, going for one of each on those. Right, let's move on. Let's have a little look at these. Again, a little hard maybe to see. This is your new colour. Now, it's a pearlescent airless mister. So essentially, bit like sort of the sort of clear overlay to the Airless Mister world. I can only think of Careless Whisper whenever I read Airless Mister. I'm never going to be able to think of it any other way. You've also got then this one here. This is your, I struggle with the names with these. Where are they? Pacific Point, that one there. Then you've got your Flirty Pink. Love that. And then Poppy Parade there as well. New colour there on that one. Some restocks on the others there as well. Make sure you are grabbing those. As I said though, half the stock. Oh look, I've left my water bottle out. How unprofessional of me. We are going. Jan, was it you that cleaned my water bottle?
Wasn't me. No, I was here. You thought it was
Have you heard
Deb.
about Watergate?
Oh,
it was a bit manky, to be honest. It was going a bit green
yeah, and
in
you
the
said
bottom.
someone. I was here when you found out it had been cleaned, and you suspected our Debs Robinson.
Debbie Robinson. I'm going to have to text
Have
her.
you not
I came
seen
in the
her?
other day, no, and I was drinking for a minute. I thought, gosh, this
All
looks
sparkly.
different. And it was clean for a change. Yeah, someone's done a sort of random act of kindness.
There
and
you
cleaned it
go.
out
You
for me.
see, yeah.
Yeah, there we are. What a lovely bunch of people we work with. Right, what would you like to share with us next, then, Jan?
Right, we're going to have a look at those Pixie powders now. So we've got 4 brand new colours. Now we have brought these to you before in a different colour range. So some of you may have some of these in your collection, but these are brand new colours that we haven't had here at Crafters TV before. So what I did, the first thing I did when I got these, number one, if you undo the middle part here, when you receive them, there will be a little paper disc here that protects them while they're in transit. So it's literally just a case of peeling that out so that you've got access to the powder in there. And again, these work with water and they are water based, so you can use them to make a background. You can use them to mix and paint with them again, things like that. And what I did, the first thing I did was actually just have a play with these so that I'd got the colour swatches. So we have got the Flirty Sky, and what I love about these is that, again, it's magic in here. I don't quite know how it works. It's almost like alchemy, but you will get the colour split. So you can see there that overall it's got a lovely blue lilac shade, but you can see the pink and the blue elements that come out of it. Really, really pretty. So that one was Flirty Sky. Then we had Purple Rainstorm, which is much more of a blue sort of purple down at the bottom, but look how those colours split again.
Love the greys in there with it
Absolutely,
as well.
very sort of atmospheric, isn't it? And then we had the Copper Splash, which absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to pick these up in a second to catch the light, because looking at them here, they've got the most amazing shimmer to them. But again, all I did with these was and I'm going to show you how to do it in a second when we do our demo, how to use them. And then the last one was Boulevard Lights, and I love this one. It's a really difficult one to explain. It's a cross between a grey and sort of like our sort of topaz green range of inks. It's got that sort of slight fern green going amongst it. But if I pick these up now, they've actually got the most amazing luster and look at that. Beautiful. And this is what's in that bottle. You've got mica in there.
And silver in the others.
Absolutely,
right?
Yep. So you've got mica in there. This one's actually, well, I'm saying silver in this. This one's got like a lilac-y sort of undertone to it there. Can you see? And honestly, it is very, very, very crudely done. I admit I've not done a proper swatch sample. This one actually looked like
it's all right down your top there. George, what are you doing with your joystick?
What happened then? I missed that.
We went from looking here, we went whoop, straight back that way.
It's a good job there's nothing going on there, is there?
George,
How
what
rude.
happened?
Honestly.
George was so blown away by those swatches, I think he fell forward onto his joystick. That's what happened.
I'm going to have to watch that when I get back now.
Gosh,
I get home.
George!
I bet he's blushing in there. I bet he's blushing, our George, in there.
George
now,
is I've got second-hand blushing in the studio. All George is saying is, oh man.
Oh no.
I don't think it was, I think there may have been some gremlins in the system.
I was going to try again, look. He's trying again.
Are.
Here we go.
Never happens when Charlotte's here.
I'm going to have to watch that when I get home now. I missed it completely. I was that busy gazing at my gorgeous colours that I completely missed that. It does. That was just about what I was going to say there, Georgian. It looks like one of those atomic explosion.
Cloud.
Yes, doesn't it? Yeah. So what we're going to do then, for those of you that haven't seen them before, we're actually going to have a play with the Flirty Sky, which was that lilac-y coloured one. So, all I've done is I've got my mister there, which has just got...
That's happened when Leanne's been here as well. But not George got previous on this count.
The boss, my goodness. Choose wisely, George.
He did not touch the joystick, he's saying. That's his defence, he's going to stick to it.
Likely story. So I just got some ordinary tap water in here. I just fill it up every time. It's getting a wee bit low now, but that's all that's in my my spritzer. And then you've got that lovely sort of goodness in the bottle, which has got mica running through it, which is where you get that sparkle from. So there are pigment in there, plus the mica, and it literally creates the most amazing sort of backgrounds. I'm also going to grab a paintbrush because I want to actually move this around a little bit, just to make sure that we've got nice coverage on here before we actually die. Well, I'm going to put it through an embossing folder. So I'm getting all my equipment at the ready. And then what I'm going to do, you don't have to do much with these at all. I'm going to take the top off here, lift it over, and literally it's a tap it. Rather than a shaking motion, I tend to just tap the top. And you just want to, and you don't use much of this at all.
Pepper,
it does, yeah. It looks as if you've got some sort of granules on there. And you think, well, it's not very exciting, Jan, but just watch. The water's the secret ingredient that wakes it all up, because the minute we spritz on there, you can see how it wakes up those little particles.
There's a lot of poor Georges in the comments.
There is, isn't there? Yeah. Bless him.
Innocent until proven guilty, apparently.
I am not offended, George. I'll let you off.
Yolanda says, George strikes again. He did this to Leanne Chivers once. Is what Yolanda. Shots fired there by Yolanda. That looks wonderful, though, Jan.
Pardon?
It looks wonderful. Do you know what it looks like? It looks like you've got hundreds and thousands, put them on a page and they've started to melt like sugar strands.
Literally, yeah. And I love how the colours split out of it. So I'm just going to pop in a little bit where there's some areas that are sort of a bit sparse there. I want to add, and once you've got the water down, you can see it pretty much reacting straight away. And because I want complete coverage on here, all I've done is taken some water on my paintbrush, and I'm literally, anybody can do this. There's no skill at all involved. It's literally just moving that product around on here so that we've got a nice coverage, and we've got a mixture of those blues in there, those pinky tones in there, that gorgeous lilac in there as well. And you can see that it's literally moving. And once it dries, you've got the most amazing shimmer and sparkle to it. They are absolutely stunning. So what I want to be able to do is to take this right to the edge so that we've got a complete cover on that piece of cardstock, and then we're going to emboss it. So make sure it's dry first, and then we're actually going to emboss the piece of cardstock with one of the folders that we've got on the show for you. So again, as I say, I was trying to get as much in as I could to show you as many of those products so you can see what they actually look like. And then you've also got this to look back at. If you've ordered those products and you're buying into them, you can also have a look back at the show. Just to see, some ideas and some inspiration.
Beautiful. I love the amount of texture it gives you, rather than it washing it all out.
It does, yeah. And then I'm just going to pop the heat tool on it, because it does need to be pretty much dry. So it doesn't have to be perfectly dry to go in an embossing folder. Sometimes you'll get a better result if it's slightly. It is on, it is working, excellent. It's doing its job. My gorgeous little heat tool.
There's a lot of people saying blame the gnomes. Mariah says blame the gnomes, George, blame the gnomes. Fred says the gnomes did it, George. That's it as it dries.
Yeah. So again, just make sure that it's pretty much touch dry. And if you heat the back of your card will always curve when you're heating it. But if you heat both sides, you can see how that's flattening it back down again. And then obviously we're going to pop it through the embossing folder, which will actually flatten it out again. So let's just get rid of a bit of that off the counter. So where have my, oh, there they go.
Where's your mucky rag?
Where's my mucky rag? It's under there somewhere. I feel a little bit,
Jan,
you know, because we've had a move around. I just feel a little bit at odds and ends at the minute, just getting used to everything's new home.
I bought a game changer, Jan.
Here's the rag.
There's your mucky rag. I bought one the other day, you know, off the 3-letter shopping channel that we all seem to buy a lot of stuff from. They had a specific brand of microfiber cloth which absorbs half a litre of liquid. It's like this big, fluffy, downy microfiber. I've got 8, maybe I'll bring you one in, Jan. I think you'd love it.
That's amazing.
It's half a litre. I've got a defroster freezer, you see, and I think how am I going to soak it all up? I'm done.
So just come and have a look at this then now. At the cardstock, please, George. There we go. That made him chuckle, he did. He's laughing away in my ear now. But just look
That's
at
incredible.
That detail on there.
It's almost like a bit sort of, you know, you see those telescopes they send up to space and they take those big long wide shots of the galaxy.
Yeah.
There's lots of them on the news
It's
at the
almost
moment.
got that sort of marbled look to it, hasn't it? And this was
Really
watercolour card that I've worked on, because obviously that is designed to absorb that moisture. So what we're going to do then is we're going to take one of the embossing folders that we've got in the collection, which I've put in a safe place. Where have you put it, Jan? I'm sure I got it's there. Look, in a safe place right at the side of me in plain sight. I tell you, our John's moved everything round and it's got me all at odds and ends, because I don't... It's like in my craft room, when it's a mess, I know where everything is. I can put my hand on it, even if it's in that pile or that pile or that pile. When I tidy up, I can never find anything. I don't know about you guys. I tidy it all up and think, oh gosh, what did I do with that? Yeah, what did I do with that? Which drawer did I put that in? Yeah. So yeah, the mess is usually an organised mess. So this one is actually our quilted heart. Nice. Absolutely beautiful. It's got like that lattice work on it. And in every join, you've got a little tiny heart in there as well. So we're going to pass that through. Now, these are actually 3D folders, so I'm going to treat it the same way that we would one of our own 3D folders. Just get rid of all the bits off that one. And then I'm going to use our clear plate and the magnetic shim, and then I'm going to use that frosted shim for my top plate. Pass that through the Gemini, and that should apply sufficient pressure on there to get that beautiful quilted design.
Amazing. Some questions coming in about these powders.
Yep.
Would they show up on black card, and can you use them on vellum, asked Mariah?
You could definitely use them on black card. You would get a slightly different reaction on the black card, because you wouldn't see quite as much of the colour because your base card is darker, but you would get that terrific shimmer. Now, as far as a vellum's concerned, I think you would struggle to get it to dry properly, because vellum is non-porous. It would sit on the top, and I think by adding the water to a vellum, you would get a lot of wrinkling going on with it. Okay. So I don't think I would be tempted to use them with vellum. You want something that's porous, so a cardstock, sort of adding extra dimension to your pattern papers and things like that. So yeah, I would definitely be going for something that's got a porous factor to it there. Amazing. But when we open this one now, and again, just tilting that there, and I'm going to you can just see here in that blue area, look, where that gorgeous sort of quilting is. And if I turn it over, you'll be able to see that design even better, look on the back.
Really nice.
So really, really pretty one. And again, it's been sort of thought out really well to go with this particular design. Now, what I didn't do, I got very giddy with my sparkles, and what I forgot to do, so it's lucky that I did one at home, is that I took one of the layered hearts, which again I've put in a safe place.
Is that the thinking
That was
action?
the thinking action. What have I done with those, Joe? Honestly, I've got bits and pieces all over the place.
A lot of love
now.
coming in for these powders. Didn't know how to use these, says Deborah, really happy. Hannah says, I want to go play with my Pixie powders now. Rose says, they look like fireworks in the night sky. And Scrap Paper Scissors says, okay, now I want the gnomes and the Pixie sparkles. Can you add the powder into a spray bottle of water and use them that way?
Absolutely,
that was a
yes.
question by God's blessing.
So
awesome
like
question.
I had here, you only need a tiny bit of the product. So I tend to use, I've got in my my bag, I've got a little tiny plastic spoon that I use for anything like that. So again, you would probably need like a third of that spoon. It doesn't need much in it, and then just pop a bit of water in, so a little bit at a time. Give it a really good shake. Mine's got a ball bearing in here, so it'd be great for sort of disturbing that glitter. And then the only thing that you need to be careful of is with it having the mica in it, make sure that you clean the nozzle of your spritzer each time you use it, because if you leave any mica in there, in that nozzle, it may clog it up a wee bit.
We don't want to be clogged up.
So found the dies now, the decorative hearts, which were those nesting ones that we used on the wake-up call this morning. I should have done this first, okay? And it's lucky that I've got one there that I've done earlier. The reason I wanted to cut the aperture in first is because if I go back and do this now, it's going to flatten all my embossing.
Oh, we don't want that.
All right, so pop your aperture in first with the die, and you can do the colour in, and then you get a nice pretty piece here that you cut out that you can use on another project, and then literally do the embossing as your final stage. So it's a good job I actually prepared that one. Not used quite as much product on that one. You can see it's just a little bit paler, a bit more subtle. There's more of the blue tones, and this is what I love about these. You know, you never quite know how they're going to separate and what colours you're going to get out of them. So we'll just pop that to one side. I'll use that for another project at home, and this is going to be the feature. Now then, moving on to this one, I hadn't come across anything like this before. And if you have a look,
telling me about this earlier. I couldn't quite get my head around it.
Yeah, if you have a look on there, I thought, oh, that's different. We look at the metal work, and I thought, yeah, it's got a lovely design on it. But then, as always, when I have something new, the first thing I do is examine it, and thought, there's not actually any cutting edge inside there. So how's that going to transfer? So when I had another look, it said all-in-one stamping and cutting. Oh, now. So when you read it, it says the revolutionary metal design has a special coating on the stamp surface to hold ink. Apply your chosen colour and then run it through the die cutting machine as usual to produce a stunning stamp and die cut with ease.
Because I'm guessing then, would a normal metal on a die resist the ink, as in it would disperse the ink?
Yes, it'd bead.
Yeah.
It'd bead on the metal, because obviously again you're working on a non-porous surface, so it would just bead on the metalwork. So this, when you feel it, it feels odd. It's not sticky.
I've knocked the patch.
Oh my goodness, look, we've let him loose again. Off he goes.
And he went to pick up the die, and
it's like that card trick where you sort of touch one card and it follows it all the way around, isn't it?
I know what you mean. It feels a little bit rubberised, doesn't it?
It feels different. I can't actually describe it. It's not tacky, but there's definitely a coating on there, which means it's
got more texture.
It's actually going to receive the ink. Yeah. So what we're going to do is, I would recommend. I've tried this with several ink pads. I tried it first of all with my Harmony Quick Dry, because I wanted the purple to go with this gorgeous Pixie powder. Now what I found with the quick dries is because they're on a sponge surface, it was applying far too much ink to this. You don't need a lot of ink. So therefore, when I die cut it, I was getting a lot of ink where I didn't want it. So I then went back to the ones that have the felt pads in there. So things like your water reactive inks and your finesse inks have got that hard surface in there. So what we're going to do, literally, I'm going to grab my piece of cardstock at the ready. I'm going to grab a piece of tape at the ready as well. And then very, very gently, you're literally going to apply the ink to the inside area of that die. And this felt very strange. I can honestly say that I've never done this before. So yeah, really sort of like intrigued as to what was going to happen when I die cut it. So I may have over inked it. I am very heavy handed with the ink, I must admit. And then what you're going to do is just very, very carefully pop this onto your cardstock, and once it's down, don't move it. So I'm going to stick it down in place, and then I'm just going to get rid of that ink so that I don't end up leaning in there. And then you're just going to die cut it like an ordinary thin metal die. So I've got my plates back here. I've got the clear one and the magnetic shim and my plastic one, and then I put that one in a nice safe place. So we're going to put it down to cut into there. I'm going to pop these on top and then literally pass this through the machine, and all it's going to do is cut out the shape. The only die cutting part is around the outside edge of that heart. The rest of it, the ink's going to transfer as if you stamped it, and honestly it was like magic. I was like, whoa! I was really impressed. I can honestly say, whoa, I've never seen it before. So yeah, hats off to Creative Expressions with that one. I was like, not seeing this. Now, as I say, I may have over-inked it slightly because I do get very heavy-handed with the inks, but we'll have a look and see what's happened there. So when we take, oh, it's actually falling out. I've not quite got enough pressure on there, look, with it. So it may be that it just needed a shim in there to just build it up a little bit. So you can see the idea, and I've got one that I've done earlier on. So I've got the ink okay, just needed a wee bit more pressure. So what I'd be tempted to do is maybe pop a cardstock shim over the top. So where this was actually on the plates, like this, just where you've got the die cut piece, pop another piece of cardstock over the top if that happens.
So has it come away from the die as it's gone through the machine?
I don't think so, no. I just think it needed a slightly meatier sandwich. So it needed a slice of ham in there as well as the cheese.
Absolutely. And maybe some pickle as well.
Maybe, yeah. But you get the idea with it. And obviously I had to practice a couple of times at home, and you can see once you've got that ink on it properly, you're going to get a proper impression there. So the only cut part is round the edge. And then you've got all this gorgeous stamping. And then obviously that lends itself then to sort of fussy cutting. Nice. I nearly footy cut then. Fussy cut.
Could have been much worse than that.
Yes, it could. Yes, I'm going to stop there. Yeah, it's getting late. It's been a long day today. I don't know why. So all I've done is just take my little snips and cut the middle section out. And again, you've got different ways of playing with it. Now, I did actually manage to get a go with the quick dry ink. So I was very, very, very gentle with that one because I've got the purple in the background. And then what I've done is I've cut out the centre of one of the black layers and then just coloured those extra pieces in. You can see those outside pieces. I've just used one of my alcohol markers. Nice. So make sure again that you're using the alcohol ink if you're going to do that. And literally just added a little bit of purple in there to pick out, and then I've just popped some gemstones in the centre of those little flowers there to make a topper that we're going to use with that card. So let's just pop it together then. Again, I've done some matting and layering ready for the card blank. So we're just going to pop that one on the back of the card. And again, I've got a silver mirror card layer and then just a scrap of lilac paper, which was in my scrap box, that we're going to see through that embossed layer. All right, so that one's going to go on the background. I've got lots of fingerprints. It's a good job we're going to cover most of that up, isn't it? Mess it up. So when we pop this one on, you've got that lovely lilac shade through the background there. So again, I've put plenty of tape on this one with it being embossed. Make sure that we get a nice flat finish on it, and I want to make sure, again, you could pop foam tape on this if you wanted to raise it up. It would make a beautiful shaker card if you wanted to put acetate in here. Oh, Joe, I don't know whether it's with you or not. I can't remember what date it's on.
Really normally,
Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe. I've got a whole masterclass coming up next month on shaker cards.
Whoa.
Oh, I got very excited.
We're going to have to dig out Laura's full parody, Laura Middleton's full parody of Shake It Off. Do you remember?
Yeah, she did, didn't she? Yeah. I got very excited. I can't remember what date it's on, and I don't know whether it's with you or whether it's with Ben, but honestly, yeah, lots of different ways of making shaker cards. I was, my mind went into overdrive.
I bet.
So many ideas. So yeah, just to pop acetate behind here and raise it up on some foam, it would make a lovely shaker design.
This is beautiful.
But I'm just going to lay this flat because I want that embossing folder to sort of speak for itself there. Make sure it's all stuck down.
What do you think it would say if it could speak, this embossing folder?
Don't press me too hard.
Oh, I'm drop dead gorgeous. I think that's what it would say.
Oh, look at me sparkle. Look at me go. Yeah? And then we're going to use that little topper in the centre there to create that detail. So again, I'll just use some of my wet glue on there just to secure that one down. And then I've used one of the other sentiments. Again, I wanted to try and use as much as I can for you. I'm just conscious of the time.
I
don't know where it goes, honestly. I just get so involved with what I'm doing, and I've got loads of demos lined up for you. We're only on number 3, aren't we?
We are.
have to see how we get on.
I mean, there has been like 3 stages to each of these demos.
There has.
So, I mean,
I've included a lot of product, yeah, and obviously looking at the colouring mediums as well. And then this time we've got that lovely Follow Your Heart. So again, you've got that gorgeous font in there, and when that one's die cut, we've got, well, I've just got some little extra pieces which I'll show you where they're from. But can you just see that lovely? And I've done that in the silver mirror card to pick out some of the details there. And then we've got 2 extra dies which are sort of accessory dies. So let me just grab these from underneath again. We've actually got the heart accessories, and these are gorgeous. Lots and lots and lots of little dies. So you've got the envelope there with the heart in. This one fits inside that trio of hearts, so the long slim one with the trio in. This actually cuts and fits inside. You've got the little arrows there. You've got 1 or 2 sentiments. The rose little bird cage is lovely. So that one was the heart accessories, and then you've got the heart leaf flower as well. So again, I've actually taken some of the scraps and we've cut out some of those in the silver mirror card, and then I've made a couple of the flowers in some leftover of the lilac scrap there, just to add as embellishments. So what we're going to do then is we're going to pop the sentiment on that bottom side there. So I'm just going to use a little bit, and then we've finished this particular one then. So that's used the Pixie sparkles, it used the embossing folder, and then we've used that lovely stamp and die that was all in one. We've used one of the sentiments, and then we've used some of those extra embellishment packs as well. So it literally was sort of try and fit in as much as I could for you, because obviously we're restricted on how many demos we can fit into our shows there. So again, rather than that all squidging out, I'm just going to be very, very mucky pup and just dab it on there. So that's going to go in the bottom corner like so. And then all I'm going to do is add these just as a feature on this side, just to balance out that one, just because I can. You know, you've got those details, you've got those, if you've bought that whole collection, I think these will be really usable, particularly the little flowers and leaves. You know, we always talk about that, oh, it just needs a little something. You've got that here. You've got those little extra pieces that have been really thought out to use just as an extra accent there. So again, just a bit of wet glue. You can run these, if you've got your sticker making machine, you can run them through that. And then again, I've just done a couple of layers of the flowers out of the scraps, just added a little bit of ink around the edges, pop some gems in the centre, and job's a good one. So there we go, we've got a medium-sized one. There are 3 sizes in the flowers. This is the medium one, and then the little baby one. There is a slightly larger one as well. So again, just to pop those on there, just to balance that out a bit. We stuck that one down. And again, if I turn you that round now, you can see that gorgeous sort of design there, using so many of the elements in that kit there. Just amazing. With that sort of lilac. And you know, Valentine doesn't have to be red. I started out with the traditional red colour, but you know, it doesn't have to be done in reds. I love that lilac tone running through that one. Really, really gorgeous. So much love coming in for all of Jan's demo. Hannah Hicks says, Jan is the mixed media queen. She really is. Pam saying how gorgeous they are. The backgrounds look so pretty as well. For Holidays been watching on our big screen. It looks amazing. Jan, talking about the mess, Jan, or not being able to find things. Jay says, Jan, that was like my teacher's desk. I knew what was in all of the piles, from Jean. Mary Rhino says, exactly, Jan, an organised mess here too. The manor house cannot seem to grasp that concept. Sounds like he's in the doghouse today, Mary. I'm not going to lie. If he's interrupted you 3 times, Andy doesn't get the mess situation. Crafty Becky says, right there, Jan, I clean up and I can't find anything. A messy craft room equals crafter's paradise. Theory. Jane saying hers is organised chaos as well. Pammy saying a little bit of gilding wax would be gorgeous on some of these. Yes, it would, wouldn't it? Yeah, just to pull that out. Absolutely, it was. Yep. Lily saying, does Jan almost has the kitchen sink in her craft bag? She's got a kitchen cloth and a spoon. A spoon. What else is all sorts in there? Yeah, there's all sorts. Yeah. Jill says, Jill and Lena. Jill says it's like Mary Poppins' bag. Lena says it's like Hermione's bag in Harry Potter. Yeah. And a lot of you saying how beautiful it is as well.
That's beautiful, says Anne. Gilmore says stunning. Mariah says mind blown. Mariah also says once again, Jan knocking it out the park. Really, really lovely demos. Jane says, I'm watching my 3-year-old Isabel and she's fascinated with this. Can you give her a shout out, please? Isabel Bond. Isabel! Hello,
yeah,
Isabel.
fantastic.
It would make a day, apparently. I wonder if Isabel gets involved in the crafting as
I
well.
bet she does, yeah.
Yeah, it won't be long, if not already. Jill says, what an amazing card. Rose says, card of the show for sure. Mariah just says, GOAT. Greatest of all time. There you are. Love that.
Not heard that.
Lena and Colette are absolutely loving that too. And Shadai says, gorgeous demo. You're a very chatty bunch. I think everyone's in that Friday mood, you know. Let's run back through the items you've seen so far then and share with you how they are getting on, because it's busy across all the individuals. 3/4 of the gnomes have gone. Remember what you're getting there. 6 of those gorgeous characters. Each of the characters has embellishments and sentiments, and then what we're going to do is give you extra sentiments in there too. A brilliant, brilliant price on that when you consider the size and how many of those stamps you're getting. Under £30, $42.51 for Platinum members. The heart dies, very, very busy here as well. I'm just going to show you a few of the samples that I've got here because there's lots of lovely ones actually. Let me share a couple of these with you. I must show you this absolute showstopper that's been created here, because this is all individual boxes, which I think are absolutely amazing. Who's made this? Should we give them a shout out? Doesn't say who's made it.
Joe, is it Sarah, I think?
It is Sarah Rosamond has made that.
Stunning,
absolutely
isn't it?
amazing. Look, all of those
It blew my
boxes
mind, that.
are totally functional. I think that's amazing. I'll put that together again in a second. You've also got things like this. I know this was something Jan made in the earlier show, but think about doing smaller cards in here. I love this one, Jan. Look at how gorgeous that is. I love the idea of having this panel on the outside and then the open recess inside.
Yeah,
great idea.
That was the inspiration that I took for that first demo that I did. I think that's possibly one of Sue's designs.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful.
That's that stamp there that's been coloured in again, that stamp die.
Really wonderful. How are we doing on the stock here, George? 60% of those hearts have sold out and gone. Let me show you the other items that we've got available as well. I'm going to need a moment to pop that back together. The embossing folders. Half the embossing folders have now gone. It is very busy. What I would say is if you're watching this back, if you're watching on catch up this show on repeat, you really need to check the website for the stock situation because everything is really starting to move quite quickly now. The mini expressions die. 3/4 of those have sold out and gone as well. Very busy. We call them mini. I think for sentiments, they're a really quite a nice size. Imagine they would go for you Gemini mini as well, those ones, which is quite handy. Not under £10 or $15. Great, great price there on those. We also have as well your finishing touches dies for you. 17.58, 25.58. You've loved these in the show. Are you holding on to the craft counter, Jan?
Oh,
Hold
go
on
on.
to your
Is it
craft
that
counter.
good? I'm holding on.
3/4 of the buy the show has gone.
Wow.
It's very, very busy
Oh,
across
I
on
am
the website at the moment.
so pleased that people are liking
me
it,
too,
Joe.
because I can't wait to see what everyone makes when they get these home. You're going to be so inspired by these new creative expressions products. What I would say is we're probably moving towards making your mind up time. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this go in this show, because as I said, 3/4 now of that stock has sold out and gone. There are a lot of baskets unchecked on the website, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to check out those baskets. Whilst you do that, let's show you all the details of US delivery.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95 and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash. Put away your tape measure and fabric scissors. The Threader's fabric cutter offers accuracy and precision with every cut. This handy tool slices through fabric in a guillotine style. Its ergonomic design features a comfortable and protective handle, so it's safe and easy to use whether you're right or left-handed. Its 45mm rotary blade will cut up to 6 layers of fabric at a time, so your sewing, quilting, and upholstery project times are cut down to size. It's equipped with a measuring guide in metric and imperial for a perfectly accurate cut every time. The built-in grid ruler has 30-degree, 45-degree, and 60-degree angle lines, so you can cut fabric on any angle, including the bias. Quick buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Wow, loads and loads of you checking out there under that piece of video. Mariah says, I knew I'd want it all after the demos. Well, I mean, they are so gorgeous, these items. Lots and lots of beautiful feedback for that last card of Jan's there. Samantha Cheney was asking who had made this box again. It was Sarah Rosamond, Samantha, so there you are. Isabel is so happy as well with her shout out. I am pleased. I am
That's
pleased
lovely.
Indeed. I don't know where the time is going, Jan. It is evaporating in the
I know.
show. I mean, we could have done easily a couple more hours on these products, couldn't we?
Absolutely.
They're so beautiful. What would you like to share with us next?
Right, we're going to go, because we've done a couple with the dies, we're going to go back to the gnomes to finish off with tonight, and we're going to incorporate one of those airless misters. So again, if you haven't seen these in action, again, a water-based product, so they are a translucent ink in there, in the mister, but the difference in them is that they guarantee that the nozzle doesn't clog. Okay. And that's because of the technology inside it. As you're pumping it, there's actually a piece that moves up as you use the ink, so there's no air gets into the system
like a vacuum
here.
In there?
Yeah, almost, which means that you don't get any air bubbles in it and the nozzle will not clog.
Because is that a problem with other products like this?
It is common with misters that you get, and that's why I mentioned it if you was going to mix the Pixie powders into a spritzer, because the mica often does get clogged up in there. So these are actually guaranteed not to clog, and again, you've got a lovely range of colours in there. Now, I'm actually going to use the poppy, which we have launched previously, so some of you may have this one in your stash, but tonight we've got that lovely shimmering gold as well to add that, and that's a pearlescent one, so that does actually have some of the mica in it, so that one will need a shake if you're buying the pearlescent one, just to make, and you'll see that lovely sort of swirling going on. This one is just an ordinary ink, so it doesn't really need any shaking in there.
Quite a substantial size, these, Jan, for the money
they
as well.
are, yeah, I'm just having a look. You've got 50 mils
50
in there, and you don't use much at all. So what I'm going to do, I've got, or I did have somewhere, do you know, let's put it in a safe place again. I had a piece of card that I was going to use for the misting, and it's now evaded me. So what I will do...
We need airless missuses as well.
Airless missuses.
And we need missuses, or madams, airless madams.
Airless madams.
Our airless misters.
Monsieur and madame.
Messieurs,
so
madame.
I'm just going to grab a scrap piece then, and again, I've just got some stamping card. You could use watercolour card for this. I've brought my beloved old box, which is an old lid off a good, very, very old cardboard box. And again, I tend to just...
Whatever happened to Brenda the spray booth?
I don't know. I'm not sure where she's gone.
She must have had a right to remain granted or something.
Maybe.
She went to HSN one day and she never
Did
returned.
she? Maybe her visa's run out, I don't know. So I'm just going to pop a little bit down there just in case it oversprays. But basically, all you need to do is spritz this onto your cardstock. Now, just make sure that the nozzle's facing the cardstock. You don't want a face full of Poppy Parade. You look as if you've been sort of suntan forever and a day.
Friends when he goes to the spray.
Yeah, so, and I'm saying this because, you know, it's not as daft as it sounds. It's like you could end up with a face full of it. So yeah, make sure it's facing the right way. The further away you are, the finer the mist. So if you've got a larger box that's got bigger sides and you can get further away from it, the spray sort of becomes finer. So you can see there, literally just squeezing that top. If you get close to it, you can see how you can create those sort of bigger splodges. And I do quite like that. I like that there's a difference in the...
nice, isn't
and
it?
that red is stunning, absolutely stunning, that red. It's got the right name. It is very much sort of the poppy red. And then again, I've just got some kitchen paper in the bottom of my box just to absorb some of that ink. And I'm just going to add that heat tool to it just to dry it off a little bit. And again, you know, if there's pulls on there that you're not, you know, that's a bit too intense, just take your either a little bit of kitchen paper, or this is just a wet wipe that I've been using, and just dab some of those larger areas, and I can get it dry a little bit quicker that way for you. But this is just to give you an idea of what that red looks like. And then what I've done is I've done some smaller pieces for our card. So once that's started drying, we'll get rid of the box. And again, any areas where you've got that sort of pooling, you can just dab it and take some of that excess off. And like I said, when you're drying the card, if you pop it over the other way, it should dry it flat again, and you can manipulate it back into place. So again, you can see there how you've got some very, very sort of fine speckles on it, but then we've got some quite concentrated areas as well. So have a play with them as far as distance is concerned. And again, these are a water-based ink. So it may be that you want to spray a little bit out onto your mat. You can use it with a paintbrush again, so it will behave like a paint. So it is translucent, so you will need to build it up to get colour with it as a paint. And if you're going to use it in that way, I would use watercolour card rather than the stamping card. So what we've done I love this little guy. So this one's called Ladybird Gnome, and he's actually got all the spots on his hat, and there are some little ladybird accents in here. And then you've got this little bug loves you, which I thought was a gorgeous sentiment, and then another one that says just here to bug you.
My auntie's surname is Bug, B-U-G-G.
Yeah?
She married into the surname, obviously, but that would be great to send to her. They're always getting teased about their name. She went from being a Remblance, which is quite an unusual name, to being a Bug, which is equally more. Imagine if she'd have hyphenated it, Remblance Bug, or Bug Remblance.
Or Bug Remblance,
yeah. That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
So I've actually stamped this one out and made a start on him because obviously we're getting low on time now. So I've done exactly the same. This one's actually stamping card this time rather than the watercolour. Works on both. And I've stamped him out with that black ink. And this time I've actually used some of my watercolour pens, and like you've seen us do many, many times, I've popped the colour straight onto the craft mat, all right, onto my glass mat here, and I've just picked it up with a paintbrush. So again, just popping down there to grab my my paintbrush, somewhere down there, okay, and just again the tiniest little bit of water. You don't need much at all. I'm going to grab a piece of kitchen paper just to blot off the excess water, and literally just take this and apply it straight to the card. So we'll just add, I'm not going to add a lot of detail because what I've done is I've actually cut some sections to decoupage on this one. Because these are nice sort of areas to cut out, I thought, right, we'll actually pull a couple of bits out and decoupage it. So nice. I have actually done his hat again. But the idea is if I show you on that scrap piece that this will literally cover over just by using that ink, and you can fade it. So if you like to do your shading, you can see how the less sort of pigment there is in there, the more it sort of fades out with the water. So really nice to use in that way as well. And then again, if you want to add some shading to that white area, I'm going to do it with the tricolours this time. So I'm going to get the grey one. All right, and then just around that edge like we did last time, just to make that sort of less obvious that it's flat. You can do this with a very pale blue as well if you want to.
Very long beard, all the way down to the floor.
It is, isn't it?
Must be a nightmare to shampoo that.
Can you just imagine, eh?
Yeah, what a nightmare.
So again, just round those white areas, I'm just going to bring in that that grey line there, just so that it gives it a little bit more shape. You know, you can add as much detail as you want there. And then we'll take one of the greens and just finish off that little bit with the leaf there.
Love that.
Okay, and then what I've done is I've done that again, and I've cut the hat to actually decoupage up, and I've coloured his spots in as well. And then I've also done his little shoes, because they would actually be further forward as well. So we'll pop these on some little foam pads. And then I've coloured in a couple of those little bugs that we're going to use as embellishments. All right, they look quite real there, don't they? So yeah, just pop those to one side, and I'm just going to get rid of that ink off the mat there. And then what we're going to do first, before we actually build that up, is just mat and layer it onto, I think the black card makes such a difference. And I'm actually going to work with red and black on this one, so it's quite striking. And that's why I've kept this minimal as far as colours were concerned. I wanted it to be sort of focused around that red and black this time. Again, thinking of that Valentine theme. Okay. So again, we're just going to pop that one onto that black layer. And then my card blank, again, I've gone with a bigger design this time. And I've popped some of that together, but I've taken, it's one of my favourite things to do with the larger cards, is actually take the middle out of it and replace the middle with some acetate there. All right, so I've chosen some red Centura Pearl as the backing, and then the piece that I've spritzed here, I've just chopped this down to size to actually make the panels that are going to go on top there, you can just see. And then just so that they stood out, to give it a little bit of definition, I actually use my ink pad, so my black ink pad, and again, it doesn't matter which black, and I've just gone round the edge of it, and you can just see how it's got that tiny black border.
Isn't it? It's almost like you've gone very delicately around with the fine liner.
Yes, and all it means is that it's going to, because these are both red, it just allows it to sort of stand almost like a mini faux matte and layer in there. So we're just going to pop that one down. And this is going to be my sort of background card, and then we're going to use the gnome as a focal point on there. So again, this is going to matte and layer on top of the red pearl. Okay, and then I'm going to add that panel now with the gnome in, and we're just going to put this to one side here like so. Okay, so again, I only want to add tape now to the top and the bottom of this, so that I don't actually get any glue showing through the back of the acetate. So I'm just going to put a couple of lines of the double-sided tape, top and bottom, and then just pop this off to one side and just centre him so that I've got roughly the same depth at top and bottom, and then pop that one into play. And then in my little Mary Poppins bag, I've got some little foam
You'll
squares.
love this comment, Jan. Marianne Johnston says, I had gnomes in my rockery some years ago. I started getting postcards months later from one of the gnomes saying he'd gone on holiday, but he'd be home for Christmas. On Christmas Eve, I heard a knock at the door, and there he was.
Oh, wow.
She said, I had a friend who lived a couple of doors away. Her husband worked for the post office. He confessed when he saw how happy I was to have him back. I love that story.
Yeah, I love it. Honestly, they get up to mischief. They're known to be mischievous, aren't they, the gnomes?
They are. Katie Easley says her credit card has packed its bag and it now lives at Crafter's Companion. Love that.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, gnome. Oh, gnome, 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 gnome. They're everywhere I go today, says Lorraine. Love that.
There's some really good ones in there. They're on form tonight, our
We've
customers,
had
aren't they?
Oh, gnome. We've had them all tonight. It's been
I like
brilliant.
that. Oh, no. So we're going to pop his hat on there. And then rather than try and get those off the back of the shoes, I'm going to pop those on here. It might be easier, because you know my love-hate relationship with the foam pads. Come on, off we go. Don't let me down at the 11th hour. There we are. And then we can literally just pop those little shoes
Really
over
lovely
the top.
colours. And that mister works so well.
Yeah, just to create that background layer, doesn't it? What looks really nice as well, that I did in a previous demo when we had the misters on, was to use the mister in the background like this. Maybe not quite as vibrant a colour. That lovely shimmering gold one would be nice. And then over stamp onto the background. And don't actually colour in. Just leave it as a black outline on that background. Looks really nice as well. So we've got that with the elements mounted up, and then I've I was going to say typed out then, that's taking me back a few years. I've stamped out this little bug loves you.
Nice,
so again,
cute.
we're going to pop a little bit. Oh my goodness, I used to do audio typing years and years and years ago.
What, you'd
yeah.
listen to people talking and then type it out?
Yeah, the chap that I work for used to record onto like a dictaphone.
Yeah.
And then I used to sit with my earphones in and type out all his letters for him.
And
yeah.
could you type at the same speed he talked?
Pretty much then. I'm not sure I could now because I haven't done it for a very long time. And Georgina's asking me how many words per minute. I could have told you at one time, but it's so long ago. So long ago. It's like a different lifetime.
Was it like a normal keyboard? Or was
Yes,
it like a
no,
shorthand
just an
keyboard?
ordinary QWERTY keyboard like you would see now on a computer, yeah.
I love that keyboard's called QWERTY. It seems
QWERTY.
like such an unusual name.
Yeah, QWERTY is on the top row. ISDF semicolon LKJ. That was on the middle row. I'll stop there.
I used to have one of those keyboards that was split as a kid to try and encourage you to type, you know, with the one hand on
Yes.
half. Do you remember the ones where it used to be
I
separated
have the
slightly?
strangest knowledge in my head, Joe. I went back to school as a mature student to do all my teaching stuff. And as part of that, I resat what when I was at school was an O-level. It's now a GCSE science.
Right.
And we had to learn some of the elements for the chemical elements, and the teacher that we had actually taught us a rhyme to remember. I think it was something like the first 20 elements on the list. So we had Hahili Beth Knofni, Nimgal Sipskar Kakla. And I can still remember it to this day. So for example, you've got H for hydrogen, He for helium, and so on and so on. All the letters stand for the elements on that periodic table,
Amazing.
So these things that are sort of drilled
Once
into
they're
you.
in, that's it,
And
you'll
again,
never forget.
that's a long time ago, yeah.
Wowzers.
But I still laugh about it now because it just sounds like a foreign language.
It does, doesn't it?
But
That was a
I've just
beautiful-
literally put that to one side and I've not even shown you
it was
guys,
gorgeous,
have I? Let's
Jan.
have a look.
Really, really lovely.
There
Do you
he
think
is,
we
look.
might get that card of the show underway as well?
Shall we do that now,
Let's do that now, yeah.
Because I don't think we're going to be able to fit that last demo in.
No, I don't think so.
uh,
Linny Bug says that, Linny Bug. Linny Jones says, maybe that's what we'll call Linny from now on, Linny Bug. Linny Jones says the Remblance bug sounds like something David Attenborough would be interested in.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
It really,
Yeah.
really does. It probably
The
be some
Remblance
sassy
bug in its natural
Can you
habitat.
imagine? Which would probably be a Eurovision party or a cocktail bar, I'd imagine.
Definitely covered in glitter.
Yeah, absolutely. Beth says I use Jan's technique of using the ink pad on the edges a lot. Mariah says passionate looking gnome, absolutely. Marilyn says you never cease to amaze her, it's beautiful. Pammy loves this card, and Caroline French says, she says yeah, another stunning card from the Master Crafter. Love that one.
Oh, bless you, thank you.
Brilliant. Right then,
Right.
demo of the show.
Demo of the show, right. So I'm just popping my pens back in there and then we're going to line up those samples and show you what we did. So at the top of the show, we started off with that lovely background die and then that lattice work heart and then the sentiment in there as well, especially for Valentine's Day there, Happy Valentine, and that was number 1. Number 2, we went to the gnomes, and this is just about dry now. If we have a little look overhead, George, you can see that lovely sort of shiny nose in there
Definitely
now.
got a Central American vibe. It's
just
like the
about.
gnome's gone on holiday to like Costa Rica or something.
Yeah, he's a bit sort of salsa, isn't he? He's, very, very carnival-y there. So that
Very
was number
carnival.
2 with the gnomes. Number 3 was that lovely background with the pixie powders. So that lovely flirty sky there for that lilac tone, and then that lovely little stamp die in the centre and some of the embellishment die. So that's number 3. And then number 4 is that lovely Valentine gnome again with his little bug friends
Love
there, his
that
little
one.
ladybugs.
Absolutely gorgeous.
All right.
1, 2, 3, or 4. Jana says, lovely card, Jan. Jana was actually from Finland. It was correct. I won that game that I was having myself. Another stunning card. Kay says, when I grow up, I want to be Jan. There you are. There's a compliment. Right, the Buy the Show collection. I have got big news for you. It is, I am afraid, limited stock. If you are watching this back after the show, oh no. If you're watching this back after the show, good luck. There may still be individual smaller collections available. It's meant to be on Second Chance Sunday, this particular bundle. It's not going to happen.
Well, again next week, so it's just not happening, is it? No.
I wouldn't be surprised to see all of the individuals sell out as well, because we are coming towards how we're doing on the expressions and the smaller dies. Are they they're all fast approaching limited stock as well. So if you've got the large bundle in your basket or the smaller bundles, both of them very, very busy now as we come towards the end of this show. I'm so excited to see what everyone creates with these, Jan, aren't you?
I know. If you do have a play with them, don't forget to send us the pictures. Either here at Crafters TV, or if you want to post them to our social pages. Love to see what people have been up to. I know a lot of people have been posting their sort of craft along makes, Joe, that we did last time. A lot of people had a go at that theatre card that we made. So yes, so seeing as we've got a few minutes left, I did say if we'd got time we would try those luster polishers on the black card.
Nice.
So we did them on the white card earlier, just for the benefit of anybody that's tuned in later in the show. We had a look at these 4 colours. These are 4 brand new colours today in the luster polish. Look at that shimmer. All right, so we've got the bubblegum on the pink one. We've got, is it tantalising teal, I think it was? Yep.
Ooh, yes.
Then we've got the razzmatazz, and then the purple was violet vibe. So that was on white stamping card. What I'm going to do now, I haven't had a chance to do, let's have a look at it. So we're definitely still going to get that gorgeous luster, but because your base card is darker, it's going to affect the actual colour we've got going on. So yeah, we're going to get more of a translucency to it now, look. That looks stunning, I like that.
Much more subtle, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
Again, could you, when you're building it up, could you let it dry and then add another coat? Or can you do it all whilst it's still in one application?
No, absolutely. I'm just looking at my screen there and I can see very, very little. But if I actually pick this up for you, just look there. So we're getting a hint of the colour on there. We're getting all the luster. I knew we'd get that shimmer, that luster from it. But because the underneath card is black, you can see if I pop it against, let me just do the bit of, I have to do the housekeeping, I'm sorry. Just, otherwise I shan't be going to get into it next time I use it. But if we look at it compared to just the vibrancy on the white card there, but you're getting a really nice subtle effect on the black.
Yeah, really gorgeous.
Really nice.
Know, Jan,
yeah.
The mini expressions, limited stock. There are there are more people now with the Buy the Show collection in their basket than we actually have stock available. So it's a fastest checkout first. I just don't want anyone to decide they want it and then miss out. Very busy.
I like these on the black. That's giving a completely different look. So that's the tantalising teal. And you know what these would look nice as? Straight away I'm thinking, head goes into overdrive when I start playing like this. I'm just thinking how nice a card would look that had a bit of each. So again, if I just lift that so that you can see, look at that. But imagine doing part of your card in that vibrant teal.
Oh my days.
And that's just got a real sort of sexy look going on there, hasn't it? With the black, I like that. A sexy goings on.
Wow, what's sexy goings on? That sounds very ominous,
I just think
Jan.
That's very.
Can I just? You leave. Right, we're going to get in trouble. Number 3 is the card of the show. Was this your card of the show from earlier, Jan?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Brilliant. So that's the card of the show. You now need to choose about card of the day. So you can go for number 1.
Did we have one from? Here. Oh, we've got our Becky as well, haven't we? Look at that.
A cushion cover.
That's
from
fabulous.
Becky.
Yeah.
And then we've also got number 3 from Jan. So let me know 1, 2, and 3. Back to Jan's sexy goings over there.
My sexy goings on, yeah. I'm just going to carry on with the other 2 colours for you. So we've got razzmatazz there, which is that lovely sort of, it's a cross between a terracotta and sort of like a brick red. But you're getting a completely different look on the black. Much more sort of translucent looking on the black, but you are still getting that beautiful luster on there, which I knew you would, because obviously the pearlescent element isn't going to change. It's just the way the colour behaves on the black card. So again, I am quite liking that effect. And then the last one was the Violent Vibe. So again, let's just try that one just to finish off there. So, and I love the fact that the actual applicator is part of the design there. Oh, I've got way too much there. You only need a little bit of it there. And again, just look at the, oh my days.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, it's
No, you're
catching,
starting with the
Georgina.
oh my days.
I like that. Oh, goodness me, that is beautiful.
Really
I might have to have a play with those at home. So look at that.
Oh yes.
Look at the purple.
Do you know what they look like?
there.
They look like gorgeous lip glosses on that.
They
black
do,
card,
don't they?
Like a lip tint.
Absolutely gorgeous. But just think about, you know, maybe die cutting your sort of embellishments or your toppers, using them on the black cardstock. So you've got one product, but two very, very different looks going on there. And I love that about them. And don't forget, you know, just a little bit on your mats with a tiny spritz of water and your brush, you can turn them into a paint. So lots and lots of uses. So well done if you've bought into those tonight. And don't forget, as I say, to show us any of your makes that you have a go with. But before you start making samples and things like that, have a play with them.
Yes.
Do this, make your colour swatches so that you can see how they behave. Try them on craft cards, something like that, and just see how they behave. And then what I do with these is maybe just die cut a shape out of them, so it might be a heart out of them or a circle die, and then punch them, pop them on a little book ring, maybe write your colours on them, and then you've got your colour swatches there. And you could do that with both the white card and the black, so that you can see how they behave on both of the card stocks. Beautiful.
Amazing. Really, really gorgeous.
Yep.
Really, really beautiful. You want to go for those luster polishes, details there, $5.75 and $9.99. Most of you that are going for those are going for all four of those brand new colours. So there is 4 there for you. I want to also take you back through the Pixie Sparkle. So you've got we've got Flirty, no, oh, that's Boulevard Lights. We're going to do them back to front. So you've got the Boulevard Lights, which is this one just here. You've then also got the Flirty Sky next to it. The colour and effect you're getting is this kind of little swatch just on the bottom there. Then you've also got the Purple Rainstorm. That's rain clouds over CCHQ, isn't it? Purple Rainstorm. And then you've got the Copper Splash as well. Really gorgeous, brand new colours there for you, which is fantastic. Demo of the day is, oh, what have I done with it? Number 3, hold the line, callers. It is, of course, the card that Jan has just created. That is the demo of the day. What I want to do is give you a final recap and update on the stock situation. The gnomes are now limited stock. If they're in your basket, you need to check those out. A brilliant price on those, considering you're getting 6 of the character stamps with the embellishing stamps and the sentiments in there, and then another whole selection of sentiments in there for you too. The hearts, 3/4 of the hearts have sold out and gone. Very, very versatile die set. I'm sure we've showed you that through this show. Really lovely. You've got that stamp and cut die within there, which is new technology for you too. $43.96 or $64.36 is your price there on that one. The embossing folders, 2/3 of these have gone. If you're watching this show back after it is aired, please check the website for the current stock situation, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. Brilliant value there, under £5 per embossing folder. That is before your cost savings come off. Just check, it says double points there on the description. Oh, is that a mistake? It says double points down there on the description. That is a mistake. We'll get that changed for you. Sue Wilson, mini expression dies. Limited stock. I'm hearing how many of these are left to go around. It is the tiniest of handfuls, along with the main collection itself. You will need to be quick for those. And then also don't forget about the finishing touches. How much has this gone? Half of these has gone. Please be quick for those. $17.58, $25.58. Only a minute left on the show, Jan. When are you back with us?
Back on Tuesday.
Ooh.
And I was just trying to think what I'm coming to do on Tuesday, and I got a blank.
Oh, you can't say.
Tuesday.
Are you allowed to say? I don't think we can say. Don't forget, the new February schedule is coming, isn't it, on Monday?
Oh, of course.
So you can't talk about it, Jan.
So
Tight-lipped.
technically from the beginning of February, but because Monday's the 31st of January,
Yes,
we've actually started it on Monday. More information to come over the next few days.
Sunday night, we're going to tell you more about it. What I would say, bigger, better.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. More shows.
More
I'm not
of
sure if I'm allowed
us.
to say that.
Yeah.
But I've said it now. What are you going to do? Sue me? Jan, a pleasure to work with you as always.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I'll be back tomorrow with a Triple Debbie day. We're back with Wake Up, Play Your Crafts Right, midday 7 a.m. And then loads more fun to come out throughout the day. Massive thanks to George Squared in the gallery, or George and Dina as we like to call them. And big thanks to Tracy as well at the back. I'll see you back here for another full day tomorrow. Take care. Bye.